Welcome back to Net and Aviation Station. We'd like to welcome again Karl back to visit us and check out our progress. So welcome again.
Well, thanks, Scott. I've been busy doing things out west at the Bomber Command Museum, but I just had to get back here and see. After our beautiful rear spars arrived, I wanted you to explain to me today what we can do with these major components that have just arrived. I know that you have a sequence of plans, and I'd like to get caught up today.
Okay, my pleasure. Well, thank you so much for getting these here. Much appreciated. You know, it's a key element of the next phase, right? Without these spar booms, we can't really progress. So thank you so much, and thanks so much to the contributors and Sprung Structures and the other supporters, and much appreciated. So what we've got 5 new spar booms. We've got 1 extra, 4 of them are going to be used. And what we're going to have to do is the spar booms form the top and bottom of the rear spar, right? And they're tapered along their length. They're about 15 feet long. And so I'm going to use one of the spar booms to act as a jig so I can shave down the other 4, and do them one at a time, and taper them as they're supposed to be. And it's going to be a bit tricky, but that's our goal. And then once those spar booms are all tapered, then we can start to reassemble the rear spar. And the rear spar will be in 2 parts, right? There'll be a port and a starboard, each about 15 feet long. And then we'll bolt them together in the middle to make the full 30-foot length rear spar.
Well, by what you've just told me, I think you qualify as a Canadian because you're innovative, and we're working on a very tight budget. And this is really exciting because we know the main spar's there. We just got the rear spar caps. Now the rear spar can be made. And so this is going to be great for the next coming months. We get those main bones ready, front and back. And then obviously the wing ribs go in there. And if you can show me, maybe we can move over here and show the folks, these ribs are really coming along.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with how they're coming. You know, we've been working hard at this. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of extra time. We all have busy schedules, but we do what we can here. And we've got a couple of key players that always show up every weekend. And it's slow going, but it's good progress, and I'm happy with it.
So Scott, when I first arrived at the shop today, and I came in and I saw this beautiful rib that's totally set up for Halifax, that goes in between the main spar at the front and the rear spar at the back of the wing. And tell us about fabricating this. And I see you've got it fully set up, but this is your jig. So how are you feeling about this right now?
Yeah, no, we've built this as close and as faithful as we can to the original Halifax drawings. So this structure down here is basically the roof of the bomb bay and forms part of the floor of the crew area, the rest area.
Right.
In this location here, we've got a series of brackets,
right, and
this is going to form the seat or the rest area, or lie down area where an injured crew member would perhaps lay down if he was, had been injured. So you can just slide that piece right into there. I have to spread this a bit.
Slides in there, comes in like that.
So in essence, there's going to be a series of these all the way along at each one of these brackets, and then there's a piece of plywood that goes on top of here to make a seat. Or a bed, if you want to call it, but an area where they can either sit or lie down.
Oh, okay. Now, I'm thinking about the structure of NA 337 in Trenton, Ontario, and this is where the wing crosses through the fuselage. Here's the fuselage. The crew can come and go through this area right here.
Well, right here.
Yeah. Right over here.
Exactly.
And the wing is through here and the fuselage. So this is the actual center point of the entire airframe is right in here.
Indeed.
And is this kind of the outer wall of the fuselage on this side?
Exactly. On the other side of this plate here would be all the fire extinguishing system. All the, I think was it nitrogen, or do you know?
Yes, yeah.
So there would have been a half a dozen nitrogen bottles attached into the bay, the first bay, and then in the second bay, you've got the wing bomb bays or fuel cells, depending on the style of Halifax. So yeah, you've got it exactly right. So to get into this area, the crew would have had to have climbed over the rear spar, and then they could walk along the floor and then crawl over the front spar.
Towards the cockpit.
Up towards the cockpit.
And so, folks, here we have, this is the heart of the Halifax right here, and the wing goes about 45 feet that way and 45 feet that way. And so, I'm sitting here saying, okay, let's build upon this and keep going.
This is the safest part of the airplane to be, right? And then what we've got here, these structures here will then continue on into what you've coined the doghouse. So there'll be fuselage structure coming, hopefully sometime later. When we start to build the fuselage structure, they'll attach at these locations here.
And how many ribs of the center section, if you went from one end of that 30-foot section to the other, how many ribs are there total, and how many have you completed now?
There's 12 in total. There's 6 per side. We've got all of them but one built. So there's one more rib like this, and then we'll be done all 12.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Then now it's really time to start building up the rear spar, because you've got the main spar done, you've got almost all these done. So what would you call that, phase 3, Charlie?
Yeah, I can't remember if we've given it a name yet,
Yeah.
but it'll be phase 3. Rear
Okay,
spar is
great.
phase 3,
Great.
right? And then once those 3 phases are done, then we'll be able to start to bolt the rear spar, ribs, and front spar together, and it'll start to look like a wing again. And then we can start to think about reskinning, and I'm really looking forward. As I've mentioned before in the other videos, I think, we've got a collection of parts right now.
Yeah.
But when we start to bolt these things back together again, it's going to start to look like a wing again, and I think it's going to be an exciting day. So, Karl, here's a drawing of the rear spar. Okay, so the top boom and the bottom boom are connected to this plate. It's really just a plate that's about 15 feet long. And then it's peppered with holes for all the stiffeners and the attachments for the ribs. So this basically, center line is here, center line of the aircraft is here, and then the spar continues for 15 feet. So then on this other...
I wanted to ask a question. So that is the T fitting that we've just got delivered.
That's correct.
The T's, there's a T down here and a T up here.
Exactly.
And then you fill it in with webbing and do all of this engineering, and then you've got your rear spar that goes on the back edge.
Exactly. And this other drawing here shows it fairly well, where you can actually see the T section that you were just talking about.
There's the T right there.
Right? So this structure here is the rib, and this structure here is the rear spar.
Right.
And then here's another arrangement. So this is the top boom,
Right.
right? Running through the table for 15 feet. And here is the bottom boom here. In essence, running through the table.
And there's the T there.
That's correct.
And that's what Sprung built for us, and
That's
we're
right.
almost ready to go on those.
And then this is the structure here. This is basically the rib, the rest of the rib
Right.
right in there.
Wow.
So, well, thanks for coming. Much appreciated, and I hope you're impressed with the work so far. And we're doing what we can with what we have, but it sure would be nice to have some more Halifax parts that we can add to the collection that we have here.
Well, yes, okay. You're very demanding, but I understand your reason. And let me just say this, that I'm leaving in about 2 weeks to go to Sweden. We've got the salvage rights to the Halifax in 50 feet of water. And I'm going to take those wonderful Swedish divers, and we're going to go out on site. We'll be down 50 feet and under the water, and we're excavating with our jets and everything. And we'll uncover what's left of the RCAF Halifax that's down there. And we don't know what's there. It's a little bit of the twilight zone, but it's been untouched for 73 years. So what we're going to do is we're going to bust our buns to get some stuff for you guys so that you don't have to fabricate and do your magic. You can rebuild some portion of the airframe that we can save for you. So we'll do our best, and you guys keep plugging along here at the shop, and we'll supply you all the goodies you can get.
Great. Well, I know I can count on you. And for all you folks out there who are watching the show and keeping abreast of what's going on, please support us in any way you can. Contact Halifax 57 Rescue, and please donate. And
remember now, we have a crowd fund. It's called Fundraiser 417498. And send in your shekels and your pounds and your dollars and keep us rolling.
Right on. Thanks so much, Karl. Thanks for tuning in.